Welcome back to the channel. We are your Colorado real estate family, Chelsea and Pete Sweeney. And the fun part about watching a city grow is all of the fun developmental projects that are coming. Today we're going to be talking about what's happening in Fort Collins 2023 as well as the real estate.
All right, let's go. All right, the first big development that we're really going to talk about is on March 17th of this year, a redevelopment plan was submitted for the Foothills Mall, which if you're not familiar with the Foothills Mall, is I'm sure you're probably not, but what it is, it's east of South College Road and north of East Horsetooth Road. Maybe we'll throw a map in there so you can kind of have some visuals. I'm very visual. We just got a huge comment about not being visual enough or something like that, but
we will put in some stuff for you. So this is so exciting to me because I have a lot of experience. So if you're driving on South College Road, you would probably barely recognize the mall because it's so old. It kind of reminds me of the old Westminster Mall where it's just all one level. It's really dark and dingy. Like, yeah, you can get shopping in there.
Stinky a little bit.
You know, it's just like, it's really old. It's not fun. Like, people still go there and all of that, but it's not like super exciting. My sister, when she was pregnant, we walked the mall and I timed her contractions. And so like I have like this kind of, tie-in to the mall, and I had been there, and I used to go with my cousin when we lived up there, so I do love the mall. However, nobody is going to hate what this plan is going to include. It is going to be a walkable mixed use with this open spaces, communal gatherings, but also be your shopping and all of that, and really bring a new dynamic to South College Road, because I swear you guys could pass it, and unless you look to your right, you kind of just could miss it. And besides it being a big piece of land, like it doesn't really shine and say like, hey, like we're new Fort Collins, which is where Fort Collins is going. So I'm very excited about this new development, and how that's going to be right in the middle of Fort Collins is going to be a huge change in that area.
And so when I think about this development, I kind of think about, if you guys ever watch any more Thornton videos, or I guess that's in Westminster, but we always bring it up because it's right across the street from Thornton, is the Orchard Mall that we have here. It's a great, outdoor space where, just like she mentioned, where you still have your shopping, you still have a theater over there, you have all that stuff. And so that's kind of what it makes me think of, and it's just such an awesome space. I know in Colorado it is hard to have like kind of like that outdoor style mall because we do get all 4 seasons. So wintertime, you're like, do I really want to go walking down there? It's a little freezing out and all that stuff.
Yeah, but they make it all cute.
They do, yeah, they make it nice.
Like,
like Christmas is always awesome there.
They make like the roads sing, because they have, I say the roads sing, but they have all of the speakers, and it's so like
But it is doable, okay? So we've constantly talked about this where everyone thinks that there's snow on the ground in Colorado all the time. It's not. It's just a few months out of the year, and so I think this would be a great idea for Fort Collins to really bring this in. The second thing that we're going to be talking about is kind of this lodging / food truck market thing that's going on. It just went into review on April 13th. Food trucks, I always had this idea where it's like kind of a Colorado thing. It's like, oh yeah, we're super cool for this. But then we go and visit our property in Florida. And
we're getting a food truck park.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, they did a food truck park over there. I was like, I see how it is. I thought we were cool.
We thought we were so cool. We thought food trucks here were just kind of next level.
Yeah.
I mean, neighborhoods get food trucks for all their events. We have some that cycle around. What was it, Mountain Thai, that would cycle around in our neighborhood, which everyone would come to it.
And I'm telling you right now, guys. So I actually was just driving around some clients yesterday telling them about Mountain Thai. It's an amazing food truck that became so successful that then they opened up a physical location. So if you're ever in Broomfield, give us a call or text, and like I said, we'll go and tell you where it's at. But Mountain Thai is, the drunken noodles are out of this world.
Like
they're amazing.
But I honestly feel that's where a lot of restaurants start here in Colorado. Is they will have a food truck, and then they will also have a physical location. Some of our restaurants still have their food truck that does both.
Yeah.
So it is interesting that they're going to be getting a food truck market. Now, what is a food truck market? I looked up kind of their definition of what this plan's going to be like in Fort Collins, and it is going to have obviously the food trucks. It's going to have some commercial space and things like that, but it's also going to have a permanent indoor dining as well as a lodging. So it's going to be these micro A-framed cabins. So I don't know, to be honest with you, what this is going to look like. I tried looking at some of the plans and kind of getting a better idea. This is a little bit of a newer concept, I think, having the lodging attached to it.
It is,
Usually when you see our food trucks here in Colorado, there's like a brewery right there. You know what I mean? Like everyone's to have a beer,
Yep.
they want to have some food, but a lot of the breweries will just have different food trucks come in to keep it fun and interesting.
Yep.
So having the lodging with it kind of, when I was reading it, made me think of like KOA, where like it has things on site,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to have these cabins where you can do it all. So I'll be interested to see what this really looks like.
I know exactly what it's for. I mean, when you're food trucking it and drinking, you have a good time. The best thing to do is to walk to your room, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it'll be cool, especially because, Fort Collins has a lot of Brewsters.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
The third thing that we're going to be talking about, actually, before I go into the third thing, guys, if you guys are appreciating this content, can do us a huge favor, hit that subscribe button. Maybe give us a thumbs up, little notification bell. That way you're notified every time we put out a brand new video. Also, if you are looking to purchase some real estate here in the state of Colorado, give us a call or text. Phone number right below, right there. We answer. It doesn't matter date or time. All right, the third one that we're going to talk about, and again, guys, what we're doing is we're kind of making not predictions, but we're saying that this is what's coming because this was just proposed on February 16th. And that's going to be the Mountain Sage expansion. I feel like I'm the one like bringing up all the topics. Have you ever seen The Price is Right where Drew Carey's like, tell us a little bit about this product. It's a new car.
Well, this one, no, how am I going to live up to that?
I'm the topic guy, and then Chelsea's like, boom, 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 details.
Everyone, if you are new to the channel, I'm a nerd on development. I love watching new areas expand. I like seeing what passes, what doesn't pass, depending on depending on the different, residents and what they want for the city. So I am a little geek about it, which is why I'm taking this over this time. This is a art-infused curriculum school. Now, the reason we thought this was important to bring up, like, okay, Chelsea, why are you telling us about a school expansion? Is because what we're seeing here in Colorado is a lot of people who are coming in from out of state. They're already working from home, and they're virtual, or everything's, what is it, virtual, right? They don't have an office anymore. So they can go wherever they want to go.
Yep.
But we're also seeing a lot of homeschoolers come in. Now, this Mountain Sage school is this art-infused school, like this different curriculum. It has kindergarten, it has first through fifth grade for elementary, and it has 6th through 8th for middle. But it also has a homeschool support program for homeschoolers.
Yeah.
So a lot of our clients who are moving in, they're like, hey, listen, I can kind of go anywhere. We homeschool our kids.
Yeah.
My sister homeschools her kids, and it is really cool to have these programs in place to help them get access to more curriculum, to get socialization with other children, to start creating things together. And so a lot of you have been interested in what we have here in Colorado to support that. So to be able to show that there is a school in Fort Collins that's expanding and specifically does have a homeschool program curriculum, I think is really cool.
Well, and so to kind of speak to that as well too, and so like her sister lived in Loveland, right? And so like we're talking about Fort Collins right now. They moved down into another state, and they said that there's not near the programs that Colorado has in regards to homeschooling. So this just kind of attests to that. To Colorado, I mean, like when it comes to homeschooling, there's a lot of support amongst all these different parents, the communities. So great to see if that's something that's for you if you want to homeschool your kids.
Well, and just real quick, Fort Collins has some of the best schools anyways.
Yeah.
So also being able to support this kind of art curriculum, which I'm not super, familiar with, but you can tell it's very, embedded in kind of their mission and values.
Yeah.
It's cool to see different types of school for different people, even though they do have some of the best schools in the state.
Well, I think it's good that we cover this too, because most of the times when we kind of talk about these school districts, we talk about those public schools, right? Every now and then we'll throw a private school, but we never really talked about the homeschooling side of things. And so it's good to see kind of like this new developments coming in. So for those of you who are more about the homeschooling, it's great.
And obviously there's more of you than we know if they're able to expand their school.
I agree.
They are creating more space for this, so there's obviously a need.
Yep.
In fact, the need is 9,000 square feet, adding, multiple parks, more space for the kids. So this isn't just a tiny expansion, it's 9,000 square feet of expansion of this school that doesn't even include high school.
So real quick, guys, if this is a ton of stuff that you're enjoying in regards to Fort Collins, what we're going to be doing is diving into that market a little bit, because we always talk about this where the market was kind of dipping down a little bit in the beginning of the year. It's changed a little bit, so definitely check that out. We're also going to be talking about some new neighborhoods that is coming to Fort Collins. The fourth thing that we're going to be talking about is that Boardwalk Crossing Entertainment Facility, which was proposed on, what was it, May 4th? Or March 1st. It's like it's close to May 4th right now. I'm like, it just happened. But.
I know. Well, and that's the thing is these proposals take a while, so we won't know kind of the outcome as it takes a hot minute for these to kind of go through the process.
Yep.
However, this was exciting because this is going to be a 2-story, event space. The third story is going to be like this rooftop terrace for gathering.
We love our rooftop terrace.
We love our
rooftop. Man, I cannot speak to rooftop terrace. There you go.
Yeah, it is going to be awesome. They're even expanding. I think they're thinking this is going to be a pretty big event thing because they're expanding the parking to be able to accommodate some big events there.
Yep.
I think this is going to be something new for Fort Collins to have something this big, also kind of right there in the city.
If you're not familiar where this is going to be, it's going to be at the southeast corner of West Boardwalk Drive and South Mason Street. All right, the fifth and final thing that we're going to break into prior to going into that real estate side of things is these brand new neighborhoods that are kind of popping into Fort Collins.
Well, and they're proposals, so hopefully they pass. And I had to get my handy notebook because I have to tell you the names of it. I also wanted to share a little bit about how big they're each going to be.
Yep.
So on March 8th, the Watermark on Willow is being proposed right now. It is duplexes and townhouses.
Yep.
It's 12-plex buildings, and there are about 240 homes being proposed right now. So that's one style. Another one that's coming, or that was proposed on March 30th, is going to be this Whole Acres. It's a 55-lot, single-family detached homes with about 1.7 acre of a park that actually is going to connect to the regional trail system. So I think that's going to be highly popular, considering that it's a lot of Fort Collins. We will see people ask about bike trails and trail systems for hiking and walking.
Oh, yeah.
And then the third one that I thought was kind of a bigger development, it was actually proposed on April 13th. It is the landing at LeMay. So this is multifamily and mixed use, so kind of that new age product. It's going to be 17 acres and 133 dwelling units. So these are bigger projects that are being proposed right now, just showing how Fort Collins still has plenty of space and desire to grow in multiple different products.
Well, and so here's what we're really seeing with Fort Collins, and we also just did something about Loveland too, is they are trying to incorporate more of this multifamily product, because before it was literally just all single family houses. Unless you got closer into downtown, that's when you kind of saw more of your townhouses. Well, I guess not even that. I'm thinking Fort Collins. Like, I mean, apartment style living, they've always kind of had that, but they really never had that, you know, townhouse, duplex, whatever style living. So that's what they're doing, is they're trying to incorporate more of it so they have more products for more people. Super awesome to see. So what does that look like in regards to the real estate market? All right, so the first one we're going to talk about is your single family. What is that median sales price? These median sales prices are based off of April. Actually, not just the prices, but all the information that we're talking about is based off of April of 2023. You got a median sales price, $562. Now, let's kind of look at that. What are we doing? Because we were trending downwards a little bit with Fort Collins. How are we trending now? Now that so right now we're in May. These stats aren't up to April, but it's good to kind of see where the trends are going, because everyone's like, oh, the market's going to crash, the sky is falling, all this crap. I like to look at the numbers so I can really give like an educated answer. Obviously, I can't predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Who knows what's going to happen, right? But this is just kind of what I'm seeing. So currently this last month, that median sales price is up 4.07%. Now that number isn't the impressive one. The last 3 months, that number is up 10.3%. So it shows that it's edging up a little bit, right? You know, and so like Loveland wasn't even going up that much. So
Double digit finally.
Well, yeah, this is the exact opposite of what we were seeing, guys. So it's good to see that it's kind of, I love this market right now, right? Because I feel like there's not a ton of competition out there. So when we are working with buyers like yourself, we can actually come in and be competitive, and you know, sometimes get some concessions in place, get some stuff replaced on the property. It's not that buyer's war that we had last year. So I personally love this market right now. What do we look at year over year though? We are down 0.53%. Now, I don't think this number is that bad. Why? Is because this time last year, it was bonkers with the amount of buyers.
I love that word.
Yeah, with the amount of, with the amount of competition that we had last year, it was just insane, guys. Like I said, people were upping $50,000, $100,000 over list price. So the fact that it's only down 0.53% year over year, I was pretty impressed with that number right there.
Well, we did see, remember, Fort Collins held strong for a minute. When we started to see some of these other cities dip, we talked about it. We actually brought you a market update at this time. I think it was Elena and myself. And we were like, hey, it's kind of holding strong. So I don't think we saw things, you know, kind of be affected so quickly. We did eventually see it dip, but I think that might be why it wasn't so affected as the other cities.
Yeah, I agree. Now let's go ahead and break into your multifamily. We're talking about your townhouses, condos, and row homes, right? What are we looking at? You got a median sales price as of April of 2023 of $375. Which, crazy enough, that was the exact same as the multifamily down in Loveland. But what do those numbers look like month over month, over the last 3 months, and year over year? So since last month, that number is actually up 10.46%, which this is the exact opposite of Loveland. So I don't know what's happening there, because in Loveland it was actually down month over month, and you could have those down months. So that's why like the month number is kind of, I take it with a grain of salt, right? I like looking more at the 3 month, and then the year over the year is also another important one. So if we look back at the last 3 months, That is down 1.96%. And it's like, all right, cool. Now this is kind of trending similar to Loveland. I see what's happening right now. If we look year over year, and this number is flip-flop from Loveland, so this is telling it is up 11.44%. That's more than our single family.
I think this comes into play with some of our clients when they're saying, you know what, I will have a different product to be closer to Fort Collins.
Yep.
Than, you know, if I were to have a bigger home and be slightly further away.
Yep.
We do see some people choose that. Some people are like, hey, Charles, I want to be down in Loveland. I want a bigger house. I want more bang for my buck.
Yep.
Other people are like, I really want the convenient of being in, living, just breathing Fort Collins. And I wouldn't mind having a smaller or a different type of product in order to have that.
Yeah.
All right, that was a lot of information, but all fun information. If you're planning on moving to Fort Collins, these are all things I hope that you'll be able to take advantage of, or at least hopefully they'll pass and we can all start to see what this looks like for Fort Collins. If you have any questions, please let us know. Also hit that subscribe button, the notification bell. You want to be notified every single time we put out a new video. Give us a thumbs up if you love the content.
And of course, guys, if you are looking at purchasing real estate in the state of Colorado, today specifically we're talking about Fort Collins. We have the best relocation expert up there. So go ahead and give us a call or text the phone number right below, right there. Maybe throw us an email if that's how you prefer to reach out to us. Doesn't matter date or time, we are there to answer them all. Till next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, and of course, guys, if you are looking to purchase real estate in the state of Colorado, today we're talking about Fort Collins. Give us a phone call or text.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like a twitchy betwixter. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
The fun. Oh, I need to introduce us.
The second thing that we're going to be talking about.
All right. Is it on?
Yeah.
Oh, hell. Okay. This is exciting.
Now let's break into that multifamily. So we're talking about. Oh, shit.